Hey everyone, this is the MoneyBru Show. My name is Daniël-James van den Berg, your South African entrepreneur who loves to break dance, loves to bring on weird guests, loves to try weird food. I have Adriana here with me and Morrison, and she is Mrs. Arapahoe County. Pageant, and she's within the pageant world, but she's also in women's fitness, and we're just gonna get so deep into that like entrepreneurial space that she brings.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame, though it might be nice to own a jet plane. I'ma do it all for you, come along and see us.
I met her at this Aspire event. It's probably it's packed, right?
I think it's about 3,000. That I mentioned
Wow.
that they said there's 3,000 attendees today.
That's insane. I think last time I was here, it was only 1,500.
Ooh,
So
we've grown.
we've gone through the moon. We're gonna do some taste tests. I've got an energy drink that's clean, yerba mate, one of my favorite energy drinks that doesn't give you the drop, and it's healthy. It doesn't have all the craziness in it. So we'll talk fitness and staying on the game and things like that. But let's start with your story and what brings you here and tell us everything.
Okay, well, I'm excited to meet you because I got to tell you that I love your energy, and you just struck a conversation, and I was like, when we're trying to make those connections, it's important to be able to do that. So,
Cool.
So me being in the health and fitness space, I've been in the space for almost a little over 22 years. I work with women in the perimenopause and menopause space. So I like to say I help women burn fat, build muscle in perimenopause and in menopause. No gimmicks, no BS. You might be surprised to learn that I'm 51 and I also have 4 kids.
Heck yeah.
You didn't know that.
That's amazing. I love it.
So,
Yeah.
and
Never would have guessed.
So quick story, I was not an athlete growing up. I drank my way through college. I was over 200 pounds for most of my 20s.
Wow.
And age 28, I decided I had had enough of my bad behavior. So when I lost the weight and I did it the right way, I switched careers not long after that. So I had been credentialed over the 22 years being a certified personal trainer, corrective exercise specialist, group fitness instructor, and then a fitness nutrition specialist, all the way to the point where I am now an advisory board member for Strong Fitness magazine.
Oh, fantastic.
And I even had a moment where Facebook brought me to Menlo Park pre-COVID to speak at their health fair. So that's a whole other story that you didn't know about.
Nice.
But along the way, I also had worked for several gyms, and one of the ones that I worked with was at a fitness boutique. It was a franchise fitness boutique gym. And then as COVID happened, I actually, when we were going through the shutdown,
100%.
I lost my job.
Wow.
Now, I will tell you, and I will be raw and honest, I have a funny feeling that it was because of my age. And it
Not your race.
not because of race or not because of my ability, but I was one of the top coaches for this particular franchise. And when they were having a meeting for the locations that are here in Colorado, they mentioned that they were going to furlough a few, but rest assured, everyone on this call was going to have their
They were seniors.
Yeah, well, they said
Not
that everyone
seniors.
on the call was going to, that their
slow down.
jobs were going to be saved. And then I got a call 2 hours later saying we're no longer
Wow.
interested in you working with us. And I share this because
They were just saving money, just to clarify, right? Because when you're a senior or you've worked your way in a career, you're basically, they look at the numbers.
That could possibly have been it. I think that they were trying to figure out how to stop the financial losses that were happening because of COVID. So, St. Patty's Day week, Governor Polis had shut everything down for all gyms and restaurants, and so then this particular franchise, fitness boutique franchise, we're trying to figure out how to stop the bleeding. And
Forget about age discrimination.
Yeah, ageism really is a thing.
Yeah.
And you don't lose your job when you were told that you were employee of the month before for the entire franchise.
No,
and we're talking all 27 locations.
Yeah.
So, I was devastated when that happened. I truly was. And a lot of people that I knew didn't think I lost. They just thought, well, COVID.
Yeah.
You
Instead
lost
of
your
like,
job.
hey,
Everybody.
let's figure it out. Like, you know, let's do a soft landing and like let's actually discuss and negotiate. It's an interesting dynamic for sure.
Yeah,
Did that kickstart you or?
Oh my goodness, it did. I went through all the motions. I went through my ugly cry for 3 days.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, I can look back now, but I realized that was the kick in the throat that I needed to take matters into my own hands and be my own boss. So after the third day of ugly cry, and my husband was up all night because I was just sobbing and crying.
So cool.
I stood up and I dusted off my shoulders and I was like, never ever again.
Yeah.
And that was the start of my true entrepreneurial career. Even with the month prior, I had signed up for a master class where the price tag was like 12 grand a year.
Wow.
So picture this, a month prior,
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I signed the contract and all of that to kind of grow the business, and then I didn't know this was going to happen.
Wow.
But what I learned from this was I had to bet on me.
Yes.
And along the way, I learned that you need to have the employee mindset, as in showing up every day like you're clocking in
Yes.
for a job, but the intensity is higher because you can't excuse your way like, well, I'm just my own boss, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get up a little bit later.
Quit, right? All
Yeah.
that stuff. Before we go into
Okay, before we carry on this video, gut health. We've got to talk about this because it's super duper important. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever vomited everywhere or your kids have had intense diarrhea and you just can't figure out where your energy is going, it's definitely got something to do with your gut. So what happens is your gut's connected to everything, right? It's connected to the nervous system of your body, but then it's also connected to how much energy you have, how much you're processing, and all that jazz. So don't be stuck on the pooper. Check this out. This book, they didn't ask me to sponsor it or even do a name drop for it, but this is Dr. Indy, and she holds a pretty cool degree in medicine and bioenergetic medicine and sacred medicine, but not just that, it's natural stuff. So like we had this issue with our kids and a tummy bug, and so to figure it out, we tried some kombucha, we tried some other things that could work, and she finally gave us some solutions in the book that actually ended up working. So if I pull this up, let me just grab this. This is her Instagram page, and then she's also launched it on Amazon. So if you remember Travis Little from one of our episodes, he was doing all the cool creative skateboards with really unique designs, and we try to beat his design with AI. Nothing much came from that, so that was pretty crazy that he still crushed it. But Indy's page, it's all about fitness. She works with high performance athletes, and I can tell you now as a business owner, when my gut is in a good spot, my performance is so much better as well. So I'm able to sustain high energy. I'm able to kind of push through the day. If I need to take a nap, I'll do it. But this really does help so much. So do me a favor, go check out her book on Amazon. It looks like this. Give it a shout. Try the Kindle. It's free right now. Leave it a review, and let's help her get that book out there, and watch how she crushes it. So her handle on Insta, which she has a lot of good tips on, is Dr. Indy Vasquez. So yeah, you can definitely follow her and go check out her link tree. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of the episode, and yeah, check and make sure your gut is in order. Cheers.
Your next segue, we have to do a taste test. These are South African goodies. So we're gonna pair this one with this one.
Okay.
This you can find at natural grocers, and it's actually really awesome because it's made of yerba mate. 50% of the profits, 50% of the profits go to support addiction recovery. Yerba mate is a tea. It doesn't have all the yucky stuff that you get drops from. And I used to love energy drinks, but I just knew my wife was like, it's killing you, don't drink it.
Gotcha.
Right? So for the ladies out there, guys out there, this is worth it. I'm gonna let you have it.
Okay.
Because I only brought one cup.
Ooh.
And then you have to rate it from 1 to 10.
Okay, I've not tried this one before, so let's give this a go.
Sure, no sugar.
So this is, okay.
It's good for if you're on a fast. It's my morning routine sometimes. If I don't want to do coffee, I'll do this. It gets me through that morning. It's not the most delicious thing, but what do you think? What does it taste like?
Okay, I can taste a little bit of the fruit flavor.
Okay.
It's not sweet.
Yeah.
The taste lingers a little bit, but I would not consider it to be like an aftertaste.
It's kind of like it's a watermelon, light watermelon taste.
I would say it's definitely light. It's not heavy.
Okay.
I don't
Cool.
feel like it's coating the taste buds.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna. I like.
Cool.
Yes,
I'm
I didn't know
trying to
I was gonna
convert-
do this, but
I'm not sponsored. Natural Grocers or whoever supplies clean yerba mate, but if you know of who does, reach out to us because I love this stuff. I'll drink the normal yerba mate. I'll drink this stuff. You can find it on Amazon. We'll probably have a link as well. But from a scale of 1 to 10 for an energy drink, what would you rate this on?
I would say for taste, I would say like a 7.5.
There we go.
Okay.
Our first 7.5.
Yeah, I think that 7.5 because I think that I don't like for heavy
Yes.
aftertaste flavor.
Too much.
So in terms of light, in terms of something that's refreshing,
Yeah.
I feel like this falls in the category.
My daughter is always like, we say, no, don't have too much, Zona, don't have too much. So she's named after my wife's like Native American great grandma,
Oh, that's fantastic.
which is so cool. My wife and her family are like from Greeley and like everyone knows them, you know. But my daughter's like, I want too much, but I want too much. It's like a 3-year-old saying what every human says, right? We want too much.
Yeah.
Like obsessive and like we have to break that down.
Yes.
I think what I love about your story too is my mom, she was a strong woman when we were younger. My parents went through a divorce. She had multiple jobs. My dad was figuring his stuff out. And she was able to raise us as like a strong mom. And I always look, like a lot of my entrepreneurialism, I think comes from watching my family go through that. And so like when I talk to you, I kind of think of my mom and I think of just that she gave up her pension to get us to from South Africa to the US.
Yeah.
Like we did the whole thing, man. So let's carry on with your story because I need to hear this next part.
Yes. Well, I was scared and frightened, and there's a little bit more twists and turns along the way with this. So I was determined to figure it out on my own, as we all were going through COVID in 2020.
What a time.
Yes. Now, insert another plot twist. I have 4 kids, but I also 3 of them are on the autism spectrum.
Wow, yeah.
So now you put that little bit of a unexpected twist. My oldest, who at the time was, he wasn't quite yet 18. He had his first seizure in the beginning of May. So we're talking a month and a half after trying to figure out how I was going to help our family. He has a seizure that throws me off, and then 8 days later, I get hit by a teenager in an offset collision. So I was in a serious car accident, and I was in a neck brace for about over a month.
Wow.
And now we're really in a pickle.
And this is during COVID.
And this wasn't during COVID. This was in May of 2020.
Jeez.
And I remember I had to get an attorney because there's a little bit of resistance on his side. And I remember my attorney saying, you know, I know we're in COVID, but you just need to like downplay all that you do in terms of fitness. I wouldn't put your stuff on social media. And I'm thinking,
Kind of like Molly Bloom, right?
well,
Yeah.
kind of sort
Did you relate to that story?
I very much, very
Oh my
much.
gosh.
And I
With
thought,
like the steel rods in her back, and she, if you watch the movie, you'll see more of it. But
I can't wait to see it.
I know I was like elbowing you. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is such a good movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, but yeah,
And-
gotta watch that and carry on.
Yes, and so I fast forward a little bit. I remember I said, well, how am I supposed to help my family make a living? How are we have a mortgage to pay. And my attorney was like, I'm just saying, just, you know,
Yeah.
they're going to try
You have
to portray you as not being as hurt.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I was putting past content on social media. I was trying to do things where I could get around,
For sure.
where it wouldn't, where I could.
It's just the
be-
country we live in, right? Like
Very true.
from South Africa, we don't have like such a Sue happy nation.
Sue happy is a good way of putting it. I would
Yeah.
say that.
But that means all of us have to counter with that a lot of times.
Yes.
It's not a choice. It's part of following the law here. I'm a big believer in, you know, doing it at the right times. Because you need that, right? Like
Absolutely.
we need to be able to that's part of free speech.
Yes. And, you know, for me, I remember I had to trust the process. The one thing that I learned is that I couldn't wait for there to appear a safety net in order for me to then make the next move.
Cool.
And my husband trusted me every step of the way. So he was like, okay, babe, if you say so. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that I followed through in what I was going to say. So whatever crazy idea I had his backing because I didn't break my own promises to myself.
Awesome.
So I followed through with my master class. I showed up for all the things.
Wow.
And don't get me wrong, I was like, we're gonna figure out a way to pay for the mortgage some way, somehow.
Together, somehow, as a family, we'll do it.
And it made sure, I made sure that I was extremely coachable no matter what. So I didn't rely on my own understanding. And that's one thing that I wanna press upon everyone who's watching this right now. You know, sometimes you have to jump off the cliff and build the airplane on the way down.
That's awesome.
And I really, truly, in doing so, I was building a following.
That's amazing.
I started to get more clients. I got healthier. I only have like 2 lingering issues from that accident.
Wow.
But they're minor and they're manageable at this point.
Yeah.
But looking back.
So like, don't put yourself in a pit. Use your community, use your resources.
Yes.
For those of you who are in America, there are resources. There are so many resources. And it's kind of silly not to use that when you need it most.
Yes.
Right? Because like, people are out there to help you and push you on your journey. Obviously, like they said downstairs, don't push yourself so much into a victim that you don't like I love what Molly said too, like you were saying, is from inside realize everyone's gonna think you're crazy. And you probably felt that when you started social media.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But do you feel that now, or do you feel different? Okay.
No, I feel like, you first of all, one of the lessons I learned in the last year and a half, and something I didn't come up with, but it was reiterated in my mind, is like never take advice from someone who has never been where you're going.
Yes.
So if we have people in our support system that are like, why are you doing that? I mean, that's kind of crazy. Well, did they step out of their comfort zone and did they reach for greatness? Or are they playing small and blaming, complaining, and explaining as to why that they're in the spot that they're at?
Get out of that situation.
Yeah.
We're going to carry on the next piece of this on the next episode. So stay tuned. Come check that out. Check out some of our other guests. And as you guys know, I will show you a fluffy dog if I have to for a subscribe or a comment. But for you entrepreneurial women and people, thank you for tuning in. I want you to like, share, and subscribe. Share this with some woman or family member or someone who needs to see this. And then lastly, we have a Maximizing AI workshop. You will see the link in the description below. It's a super good experience for you guys to go through that and learn how business owners can move away from the fear, move away from the things holding us back, and use AI as a tool and not just get stuck in the news, right? We'll talk a bit about your pageantry on the next one. So I'm very stoked about that. And